always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Welcome to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Ryan Holloway. Happy Black Friday. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy shopping today. If you are listening to this while you're out on Black Friday, I wish you the most safety. I know a lot of you guys are out getting 300 DVDs for $16 and 19 ugly sweaters for $19 at your local shopping mall with another 5,000 or 6,000 people. So while you are driving around the parking lot looking for parking, you can listen to me, Ryan Holloway, on the GSMC Podcast Network. Today, I'm going to talk to you guys about Trump versus Lavarr Ball. It is heating up. The Jersey Shore has been replaced by a show called Floribama Shore. Yes, Floribama Shore. I myself am in California and have never heard that term before. So when I first heard of it, I thought someone just made something up, but apparently it's a thing. I wasn't aware. And I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to give you a brief preview of the last Walking Dead episode without any spoilers. It's just going to be a slight breakdown. It should be pretty interesting because the last Walking Dead episode was pretty interesting. I needed a bounce back from what happened last time when King Ezekiel just lost his mind and fell out of character and just basically had a meltdown and the tiger got eaten by zombies. I needed a reprieve from that, and I had to bounce back. So we had a happier episode. I'm sorry, not happier, but a tiger wasn't eaten by zombies, which ruin your day. But we'll get to that. Anyhow, this is what happened. Lavarr Ball, the father of the three most popular non MVP NBA basketball players in the most popular NBA father, let's say the most popular basketball father in the U.S. right now, is basically in a war of the words with Trump, with your man Trump, with the commander in chief. Basically, LiAngelo Ball got caught stealing in China, multiple stores in China. Him and his ragtag gang, him and two other guys, they got caught stealing in China. And they were facing some time in China for stealing. I'm not going to say allegedly. If you steal from China, you go to jail. If me or you go to China right now and try to steal from China, then we'd probably go to jail. Just saying. I'm not saying you're not important. I'm not saying your parents don't love you. I'm just saying that if you go steal from China, you're probably going to go to jail, and we probably won't see you again. So if you're shopping for things in China right now during Black Friday, please just pay for it. Please, because we ain't getting you out. So anyway, they got out of jail, and immediately, like during the press conference that the kids were talking, Trump's like, I'm probably not going to get a thank you from these kids. They could have did a lot of time in jail. The kids thanked them, and that was the end. However, Lavarr had to be asked about it because Lavarr has to be asked about anything. People will ask Lavarr Ball what type of gas he uses in the car. People will ask Lavarr Ball what type of glue he used when he was in 5th grade to make paper mache projects. They will ask Lavarr Ball anything. They ask Lavarr Ball, hey, do you appreciate what Trump did in China for your son? And, he did say he was happy about how things worked out. But, the soundbite was that he didn't feel like Trump did too much, and that, if he really wanted to help his son out, then he would have went to visit him while he was in jail. Trump tweeted back, of course, because, commander-in-chief got to tweet. He's busy, so we don't have time to do interviews. We have Twitter now. They gave us 280 characters so we can live life on there. We can write thesis statements on there. We can write reports on Twitter. Instead of sending your teachers a whole paper, just like add them, just tag them on the Twitter. Just at them on Twitter. Turn your paper that way. So the commander-in-chief responded and said, he's an ungrateful fool, and called Lavarr Ball a poor man's Don King. And he also said that he should have left them in jail. Lavarr Ball later went on CNN and said that he would have thanked his son. He would have thanked Trump if Trump would have flew his son home on his plane, because Trump was in China at the time and then Trump flew back. He said he'd have been happy if he flew him home on the plane. If he put him on the plane and flew him home, he'd be happy. They brought Lavarr Ball on CNN to apparently ask him about this alleged apology. Now, can you imagine in any other situation where there would be a parent of a college player who got caught shoplifting in China being put on CNN to be asked about a tweet that the president wrote? I just want you guys to think about that for a moment. This is the magnitude of things right now. This is the magnitude of things. Some people say that things are fake news because they're completely made up. No. That's not what fake news is. Fake news aren't things that are made up. Fake news are things that when news is created out of things that aren't really things, in my personal opinion, because this isn't the thing. But they gave Lavarr Ball the whole 25 minutes on CNN. Why not? And Lavarr Ball showed up incredibly professional. He wasn't wearing his big baller brand shirt with the bedazzled bees on it. He wasn't wearing a bedazzled big baller brand hat either. He was wearing a nice button up shirt, all ready to give an immaculate, outstanding interview on the situation, which when he basically said that there were other factors involved in his son getting home from China. He said there were other people involved in getting him home from China, which meant he's not saying Trump didn't do anything, but he's just saying he was in contact with other people while there that may have had something to do with it, which does make sense. I mean, we want to sell this global brand of basketball. That's why the college is there, to go play an exhibition game and have like potential students from China come to UCLA or come to Georgia Tech. That's why those two schools are playing in China. There's a reason why there's a tech school and a UC playing in China. They're not just two random schools. There's a thing going on there. So locking up one of those players for 5 or 10 years, it's probably not a good look. Why? Because UCLA probably isn't going to come play in China if LiAngelo Ball is in jail. Like if LiAngelo Ball did 10 years in jail, he's just in jail, in Chinese jail. People are still just going to go over there and play. Like you're going to go and be like, yo, here's the tour. You can come and see LiAngelo Ball in jail while you go and watch the UCLA team play for the next 10 years. No. That's not a good look. It's not a good economical decision on anyone's part. So was he stealing? Yes, he was stealing. Was the big deal? Probably because of the magnitude of it, right? Because we had an NFL player a couple years ago who went inside of a Dillard's in Texas and stole some underwear and stole some drawers. He stole some drawers and stole Gucci Guilty. No pun intended. He stole a cologne called Gucci Guilty and left the Dillard store and had plenty of money. And got caught stealing. And it was funny because it was Texas. He's an NFL player and it was just funny. And that kid was older than 19. We have a 19-year-old kid that goes to China and steals some sunglasses. And that's an international incident that we're making a big deal out of because it happened in China. That's why we're making a big deal out of it, because it happened in China and it's LiAngelo Ball and he's the son of Lavarr Ball, and Lavarr Ball is the son of Lonzo Ball, who was supposed to be he's supposed to be the next Magic Johnson, basically. I'm not going to break that down or simplify that comparison in any way. I'm just going to say that Lonzo is supposed to be the next Magic Johnson. That's where we're at. So with all that happening, Donald Trump went ahead and called Lavarr Ball a poor man's Don King, which I wasn't really sure if this was a diss or if this was a compliment, because Don King actually is a proud Trump supporter that did an introduction for Trump at one of Trump's rallies. It was actually a very controversial introduction because his introductory speech started with him dropping a lot of N-bombs and N-words at this GOP convention where he was introducing Trump, which is, I'm not going to touch on that. It was just kind of strange. So in case you didn't know, Don King once killed a man, and he has made hundreds of millions of dollars off a boxing promotion, which is probably one of the reasons why Floyd Mayweather has so much money, because Floyd Mayweather watched a bunch of boxers get ripped off by Don King. Sorry, not ripped off. Watched their funds commandeered by Don King and decided, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to start my own company because I don't want to end up broke like the rest of the popular boxers. Now, Floyd Million has about, 25 cents short of $1 billion. So everything you're not made you everything you am. So Don King's made hundreds of $millions. His net worth is $150 million. He's a whole bunch of money. And again, he's a proud Trump supporter. And Trump called Lavarr Ball a poor man's Don King. So I was confused by that. So is that a compliment, or was that a diss, or was that like an inside, hey man, I understand where you're coming from type of thing, like nudge, we're kind of on the same boat? Because these guys are both kind of the same person. Not the same person, but what's the word? They have similar characteristics and attributes. You know how you got two friends, maybe two people. You have two friends. They don't know each other, but they don't like each other. Why? Nobody knows. And this isn't really an adult situation. This is more of a 20-something situation, maybe, let's give or take. And they don't like each other, but you know they're kind of the same person. Or two people that don't like each other right now as adults. It's not just a 20-something situation. It's an adult situation. Two adults don't like each other, not because they have different views on things, but just because they feel like maybe one gets more shine than the other one, and they just don't like each other. Weird, right? But they have a lot of things in common. For example, they're both incredibly proud parents. They feel like their kids can do no wrong. They both of them have put their kids in positions to succeed. Tremendous positions to succeed. I mean, the way I see it, well, not the way I see it, Lavarr Ball was quoted as saying that a lot of people invest in property, a lot of people invest in stocks. He invested in something that's his, which are his kids, and all of his kids are going to go to the NBA. Donald Trump has gotten all of his kids into the White House, and they've went to great schools, and they're great business owners, and they're very economically intelligent people. They're both proud fathers. That's an upside. They also both feel like they say things that have immeasurable amounts of disrespect to people, but the way it's communicated at such a consistent pace, we just let it go. We just completely let it go. It's not a problem. It is not. They put Lavarr Ball on ESPN. He says wildly outrageous things. Said he would beat Michael Jordan, which, even though I feel like the myth of Michael Jordan has been kind of exploited in a way where we tell the story as though he's like he was 10 feet tall and 1,000 pounds, but I don't really think that Lavarr Ball is going to beat Michael Jordan. Like, that's probably not something that's ever going to happen. It makes outrageous claims. And then Trump has made some outrageous claims as well. I'm not going to go through his Twitter feed repeating to the claims that he's made or like things he suggested should happen. But I mean, it's just not, they've both made incredibly outrageous claims while speaking things into existence. Lavarr Ball said that the Lakers were going to pick Alonzo. He's going to go play for the Lakers because he said he's going to go play for the Lakers, and that's where he's going to go because he said so. And somehow, some way, the Lakers end up getting the second pick. The Celtics got the first overall pick, traded it to the Sixers, who got Markelle Fultz, and somehow, some way, Lonzo Ball ended up on the Lakers because Lavarr Ball said so. So if the rest of them go to the NBA, then it's because Lavarr Ball said so. Trump ran for president a while ago, and he said he's going to be president. He walked this whole way through the campaign saying, I'm going to be very, very successful. I will president better than anyone has ever presidented the presidency ever in president history. And he's not. I'm not going to get on that, but he made it to president just by talking about it. And when at first no one even believed that he was going to be able to make it to president, people laughed. People didn't think it was possible, but somehow, some way, he ended up being the president of the whole United States. So I'm going to say that possibly maybe these guys should just sit down, maybe go meet at Starbucks, go meet at the bar, go do whatever, have a drink, and just exchange some stories about how they both bullied somebody. And then I think maybe they will have a common ground. That's what it comes down to. Because I'm actually surprised the White House isn't called the Trump House and that the Staples Center hasn't been named as the Ball Center. I mean, well, it's only been a couple months as president, so maybe it will eventually be that. And Lonzo's only been at the Staples Center a few months, so maybe it will possibly end up being that. However, this beef though, this so-called beef, it might be let's say a fake beef. Maybe it's one of those. It could be one of those Nas and Jay-Z things where, okay, Jay-Z writes Takeover because he heard Got Yourself a Gun. No, sorry, Jay-Z writes Takeover, and then Nas writes Ether, and then Jay-Z writes the other. I forget the. Oh, Jay-Z does a Super Ugly remix on the radio, and then he also does a Blueprint 2 on the Blueprint 2 album. So, I mean, let's say that, and then later they're sitting down chilling, having a talk about each other's lyrics being so nice. That's probably what's going to happen with Lavarr Ball and Trump. Hey man, I really like that tweet when you said this. Oh yeah, really? Well, I like when you were on CNN and you wished me a happy Thanksgiving. Oh yeah, cool. Then they're both pals. I say they both play one-on-one for America. The winner gets to have America. That's what happens. That's where we're at with this right now. They're going to play 101 for America. Trump gets 7 points, 8 points, and then it goes to 11, win by 2, 1s and 2s. That way Lavarr just can't back Trump down the whole time. We'll be 1s and 2s. Maybe Trumpito, a hit a jumper from the outside. Who knows? That's what we're going to do. I'm going to go pay a bill really fast. I'm going to give you guys, there's going to be a brief commercial break. And when I get back, I'm going to tell you about Jersey Shore returning to television. Wait. Not Jersey Shore returning television. It's Floribama Shore. It's different than Jersey Shore. Same concept, same people kinda, but different in a way. I'm also going to tell you about The Walking Dead and where we're at with that also. And I'm going to tell you about why I had to quit Love and Hip Hop. Well, not because I was on the show, but because I was watching it and then it got to a point where I was like, oh, I can't watch this anymore. So hold tight. Cliffhanger. Be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast with your host, Ryan Holloway, on the GSMC Podcast Network. So, I have a brilliant announcement for you. Do you guys remember Jersey Shore? It was the show that had the people from Jersey Shore, and they would go out, they party, have a good time, they dance and sing and all that. You don't remember? Okay. So, about 5 years ago, the show was canceled, but there's some kids that live in the house. It was a few boys, few girls, and they would go out and party every night. That's what they do. The guys would go out and meet random girls and take them home and have a good time with them, and the girls would run around and they do the same thing, but there was a little bit more crying, a little more fighting on the guys' end. It was basically like the MTV Real World, but let's see. It was like the Real World, but there wasn't like activities. It's not like it was like, oh, we're going to have party and drink and then we're going to go to the mountains, or we're going to party and drink and then we're going to go feed some children. No. It was just party all night long. Party. You had Snooki. She was a short, tan girl. She was funny, pretty. At Situation, dude with the six pack, all that. They're pretty entertaining people. They had DJ Paulie D, who's a DJ in Vegas. Now I think he's pretty popular now. Either way, show kind of blew up and it fizzled away and it just left. 5 years later, MTV has decided to release a show called Floribama Shore, which is basically going to be like Jersey Shore, except it's going to be hosted in the beach town of Panama City Beach. And it's going to be the same thing, but in the South. So I'm going to check it out just because I do like reality TV. Let me not say reality TV. I'm going to say low budget television. And the reason I call reality TV is low budget television is because they just get a couple cameras and they have a few cast members that they don't have to pay as much as regular television stars, and it's low budget TV. Like, the budget is going to be incredibly low and they're going to make a lot more money than they would by putting anything else on MTV. Apparently MTV no longer plays music. All of you know that. I don't know why they still call it that. However, the name isn't important. So what the cast said is that all of them used to be Jersey Shore fans. So all of them were all huge fans of Jersey Shore. Fans are confused, like, no, you can't replace Jersey Shore. You can't replace Jersey Shore. They're not replacing Jersey Shore. It's just another season of something different. That's all. It's like MTV Real World. They put a city on the bottom. So back in the day when they had MTV Real World, it'd be, hey, Real World Austin, Real World Seattle, Real World Vegas. All that's how Real World worked. And I guess they're going to do this like Shore franchise thing to try to get on the heels of Love and Hip Hop. So what the cast said is that it's probably going to be, well, from what I was reading, it's going to be about the same thing. You're going to have partying, drinking, going every night, a little bit of fighting, some crying, those type of things. However, it's going to be somewhere where I guess it's actually warm, because at the Jersey Shore when they were partying, it didn't really seem like it was that warm, just because it's like on like the northeast, not like my northeast, where like if I'm in California, to be like, I'm just going to say northeast compared to Florida. It's north of Floribama. We'll just say that. And it looks like it's going to be warmer. So it looks like it's going to be more of like, I'm going to say Miami kind of thing, because it's in Florida and it's going to be warmer and it should be nicer. And I guess I'm excited about it. They said instead of there being so much fist bumping and that thing they were doing when it looked like they were sea walking, but whatever that dance called that they would do when they moved their feet a lot, instead of them doing, there's going to be a lot of dabbing. So one of the guys on the show, Cody Butts, he said he does a lot of dabbing. He dabs about 80% of the time, which I see that as probably going to, no, not Cody. It's Jeremiah who said that. It's probably that may get annoying after a while, but I mean, I'm excited about watching it. It seems like it's going to be, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you guys why I'm going to watch this show. I'm going to watch the show because I decided to quit Love and Hip Hop. Yes, I decided to give up. I've been a Love and Hip Hop fan for a while now. When I somehow, some way, I got sucked into this show a few years ago. I was flipping through my television, being incredibly productive, because, you know, that's what I do. I'm a productive person. Right now, as we speak, I'm doing curls and reading a book and learning Japanese all at the same time. So I was being very, very productive. I hate using the word very. I was being extremely productive, and I was flipping through my channels and found this show with rappers on it. I saw Jim Jones. Like, why is Jim Jones on TV? Then I binge watched the whole thing. I was like, oh, this is great. They moved to different cities. Things got interesting. Things got real. The last couple seasons, they went to Atlanta, and it was wild. Paternity test. It was wild. And it seemed like the season went on for like months, and it was cool. Then they went to LA. I can't tell you anything that happened. I really can't tell you. There was a fight. There was a couple guys from New York that happened to win the show. It wasn't for me. Now they're back in New York, and I don't know what's happening. I don't. I was holding on for a while to just try to get a good pace of it and just get a better understanding of what was happening, but nothing's happened, and the same people keep fighting over and over again. And it's probably, I can't handle it anymore. So when it gets better, I want someone to tweet me and let me know, at GSMC _entertainment on the Twitter machine, at GMC _entertainment. Let me know if it gets better. Cause for now, I quit. I'm not going to do it. I'm not even a quitter. This is just something I'm not going to participate anymore. I refuse. So I guess I'm going to sign up for Floribama Shore, and I don't like the way I just said that, but I'm going to have to sign up. Apparently it's going to air in about a week, and I'm I think this is something that we're going to have to sign up for. I think so. So you guys watch it. Let me know how you feel about it. I like when MTV launches new shows because I think MTV does a good job when it comes to casting people to be put on television and, go out and drink and party. I mean, I don't really know if the recruiting for that is be that difficult. It's not like you're going to college. It's not like you're going to high schools and recruit players to play for a Division I program and win a championship. You're recruiting people to drink and party. Let me not overestimate people's ability to drink and party. Maybe not everybody's on the same level, but I personally believe that if you poll the right 21 to 25-year-olds, then you can find the right people to fill the void. I think so. So we're going to watch it. We're going to enjoy it. I'll let you guys know how it goes. More television. The last Walking Dead episode was finally what I thought it was going to be, where they had Negan and they had Father Gabriel have a one-on-one. It was great. It was great. It was tremendously written. I'm happy about the way that it turned out. It was less gruesome than the last episode, which was 3 weeks ago. So if this is a spoiler, then I'm sorry. This is a spoiler. But the tiger gets eaten by zombies. That episode was, it was a hellacious experience. King Ezekiel fell out of character. He said, "I'm just some guy," and broke down, had a meltdown. I'm surprised he got rid of his king accent. I was like, "I'm just some guy." I'm surprised he didn't take his dreads off. If he would have took his dreads off, my head would have exploded. Not figuratively, literally. My brain matter would have been all over my room because I wouldn't have known what to do if he just took his dreads off. Even though I know they're fake, but if that was fake too, along with this accent in the shot, I lost my mind. But this episode was more about how things came together and how the leader of the hilltop, well, not the leader, he's just there. You guys know Gregory, how Gregory just went and like basically snitched on them, and how everything basically, I'm not going to say fell apart, but how they kind of already knew that Rick and them would be riding up in their metal militia. They kind of knew. And when Gregory's talking through all this, he kind of seems like a snake, like a sniffling type of rat that'd get everybody murdered. But I honestly feel like he was just looking out for himself. Just trying to make sure he was going to be okay. Because all you can do within that situation, if Rick shows up and says, "Hey, we're going to go fight these guys who have been killing people for the last several months." If I'm Gregory, I'm going to reevaluate myself too. The Walking Dead situation or universe is all about self-preservation. If you out here trusting people, then maybe you're going the wrong way. So I'm not going to say I side with Gregory. I'm not going to say I would have did what he did, but I'm going to say that I understand. Because the way I see it, when he was sitting at the table and trying to be an opportunist and finessing the whole situation, Negan saw right through it and saw that he was trying to go with the winning team. But Gregory got to live, and it was okay. It was all good. Turns out, I didn't know this, but in this last episode, the heat goes out and the workers got to come upstairs. I didn't know that Negan had, I'm not going to say the S word, but Negan has workers. I didn't know this. They have workers, quote unquote. Like, so they're not even Negan. Like, they're not the Negan squad with the guns and the buses and the chains and all that. They're workers. They just work under that warehouse and they make sandwiches and stuff like that. I didn't know that. So there's probably going to be some type of rebellion, and I guess I'm going to say that I'm looking forward to that. Negan and Gabriel's one-on-one was pretty touching. It was cool. They had each other's back. They almost got eaten by zombies. It was pretty interesting. So check out the last episode. I didn't just give you any spoilers, but there's a lot of dialogue in there that you should see that I feel like you'd appreciate that. I genuinely do. Lastly, I want to say this. I'm not 100% sure how this happens, but so, how do we do this? So you guys know Manson, right? Charles Manson, serial killer. Okay. So he was in jail and then he died, and then like GoFundMe opened up. Someone opened the GoFundMe to like have a funeral for him. They raised $971 and then GoFundMe shut it down. Because GoFundMe didn't write like an explanation. They just closed it. Like, this isn't appropriate. Like, we're not going to do this. And the guy who opened the GoFundMe, he wrote a letter back stating, this is unfair. I don't like this. I should be able to raise money for whoever I want to raise money for. And I don't think that was the problem, because he wanted to like raise money to have a funeral for Charles Manson. Now, I don't think the problem was that he was raising money. I think the problem was the goal. You got to be careful what you're asking for. Now, they already raised $971. And I believe that if you would have put something modest up there, like $4,000, $5,000, something like that, then maybe it'd be reasonable. Maybe GoFundMe wouldn't have shut it down. But the goal was $15,000. Now, I don't know if that's responsible. I don't know if that's responsible asking. That's not a responsible request. I don't really think you can go on GoFundMe and ask people to give you money to raise $15,000 to cremate a serial killer. I'm not sure how that necessarily works out, but there's got to be levels to this, because there's people that's not getting $15,000 to save their home. You can't just go on GoFundMe all willy-nilly asking for $15,000. And I get it. He was a popular serial killer. Well, he wasn't necessarily a serial killer. He was a cult leader, and I guess I understand the popularity, but that doesn't work that way, sir. It just doesn't go that way. So next time, be a little bit more conscious of what you're asking for. If it said 5,000, maybe the GoFundMe would still be up, but GoFundMe isn't going to let their reputation be sullied by letting their customers just give you $15,000. It's not going to work that way. That's not how that goes. So the next time you guys open up a GoFundMe for a serial killer, this is some advice. Don't ask for $15,000, because it might get flagged. People will catch wind, and people are going to get people are being extremely upset. With that, I'm going to let you guys go ahead and get back to your Black Friday shopping. This has been Ryan Holloway, your host at the GSMC Entertainment Podcast, and I will be talking to you next time.